What's up, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm not going to beat around the bush on this one. Is UFL even fixable? Yes, I get they are brand new. Yes, I get Konami has been around. Yes, I get EA Sports has been around. Therefore, eFootball and FC has had much longer to fine-tune their games. But Strikers knew what their competition was going to be like. It doesn't matter that these games have been around longer. When you come in to competition with the big boys, you have to have at least somewhat of a comparable game so that players will actually choose to play your game. Not only that, but you definitely can't release a game that already has some glitches that people will accept, and then it keeps getting worse and worse. This type of nonsense just keeps getting worse and worse, and no one is going to keep playing this game when they can go into this type of game. And at least with deflections, well, look at that. They're realistic. You get what I'm saying? Deflections do happen. Things do happen. But what you saw in UFL, that looks like a glitch. What you see here, this looks like it was put in the game because it's realistic, right? And it goes on and on. Why would anybody play a game that can't even get the number one pass in football games correct, the through ball, when they can go play two other games that have perfected the pass? That when you have players on a run and you can play them through, you can actually connect that through pass. Because like I said, it is the number one pass to create chances in football games. And yet, 3 patches in, 4, whatever it is, and Strikers still can't even figure that out. Now, I want to bring up the fact that some people think I sound condescending. How do I know? Because those players still playing UFL seem to think it's an attack on them when I'm just speaking the facts that there's got to be some reason other than gameplay that players still put up with stuff like this. Probably because they are the player getting that one shot and still staying in games even though they get outplayed. Probably because they couldn't hack it in FC or eFootball. And maybe that's not true, but that's not a terrible question to ask when you look at this type of play, right? And you look at these type of crazy mistakes, the inconsistency with the shooting as you've seen there, right? The crazy overrunning of the ball for no reason or not connecting a pass that was connected the same way like a previous pass. There's just no consistency. Strikers lunging randomly. I mean, you see here. Defenders overrunning the ball. What is Van de Ven doing here? But yet, players are still playing this over 2 other games that are just factually better. There's no way you could argue it. Okay, you want to say FC's ping pong ball. Okay, you want to say eFootball's a simulator. But they're both still miles better. There's no way that anybody in their right mind who knows football at all, even if they don't play football games, but just watching the fluidity of FC and then eFootball here, there's no way anybody's going to see these 2 games and then see the nonsense in UFL and go, oh yeah, it makes sense that players wouldn't play these last 2 games but would play UFL. So then, when you try to figure out why, it's like players take it as an attack. But, okay, if it's factual that you were lower rated in FC and in eFootball, maybe you like UFL because you don't struggle in UFL, but you struggled in the other games, right? Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just you hated the pay-to-play fact over in eFootball and FC or one or the other. And even if Strikers is going that route, you know, they haven't wronged you yet financially, so you are sticking with them no matter what, no matter how bad the game goes. Okay, that makes sense. But when someone like me points out the facts and I'm showing you this, it's not me being condescending or it's not me attacking a game as if I'm not a player too that wants the game to do well. I'm just not going to lie to people, and I'm just not going to hide how I feel. Like, even if I wasn't a content creator and I was just commenting, this is how I am. I'm passionate about football games. I put a lot of time into these games, even before I was a content creator. The only difference now is I'm sharing it on videos. And I know a lot of people agree with me, right? But there are some, especially those who still play and like feel attacked because I want the game to be fixed and because I ask these questions of the game. You know, don't get mad at me for that, is all I'm saying. So, is UFL even fixable? Besides the fact, even if they come up with amazing modes, fix the skins, and now they're incredible, when you get into the game, if you still have all these nonsense glitches, if it's still pointless to even attack, no matter how good you do because you don't get rewarded, or some weird glitch is going to, you know, cost you a goal or 2 goals or 3 goals, and what's the point when you have 2 other way better games where these issues don't happen? And no, it's not good enough to just say, oh, Strikers is brand new. Well, guess what? If they weren't able to hack it with their competition, then guess what? They shouldn't have made a football game. But they did make a football game, and now they have a ton of players getting behind it and spending time on it and hoping that Strikers can fix it. And I just want to know, is everybody wasting their time? Am I wasting my time? Is it even possible that they can fix this game? Or are they just giving us the runaround? Because so far, all I've seen is the game get worse and worse and worse, which makes me think they don't know what they're doing. They put everything into that original game, and then they got lucky with it being just a pretty good product that needed a lot of work, but they weren't able to do any work. Maybe that was as good as we were going to get, and any type of fixes they try to do, it just gets worse. That's what it seems like. But I'm definitely going to ask all these questions while comparing it to the competition, because that's what Strikers should be doing anyway. So that way, UFL and Strikers knows what needs to be done to keep up with the competition. If not, we're all wasting our time because the game will not be able to last without a player base, and a vast majority will not play a game that's as messed up and terrible as UFL right now. Yes, there are a vast minority of players that are saying, oh, the game's fine. All we need is somebody in the comment section, for instance. All we need is verse AI mode with rewards, and we'll be great. Okay, that might be what? That one player only, or maybe let's just say 100 of those players. That's not enough. You see, as most people see, the competition is way ahead, and players are just hanging on because Strikers is saying they're going to fix a game. But my question to you is, are they really going to fix a game? Of course they're going to tell us that because they've invested all this time and money. But when you use your eyes and you see where UFL is, when you see where these other games are, do you really feel that they're going to fix a game? Because I know what I feel right now. And yeah, it pisses me off because it feels like this is all a total waste of time. And I'd rather Strikers just man up and say, guys, we tried, we failed. For those 100 players that like the game, we're sorry, but it's definitely not going to be able to last like this. Because make no mistake about it, I'm going to hurt some feelings here, but there's not enough no-skill players / rats / whatever to be the entirety of the UFL player base. You need actual players that have skill, that want to climb in a game, that want to compete. You need all the different types of players to create a player base. And right now, it is literally that minority of players. And you know Strikers isn't just going to come out and say, hey, we can't, do it. Thank you for all your support, this and that. No, they will literally ride it out until they can squeeze every last cent out of any player that is willing to put money into their game, because that skin boost might get them that extra win in showdown, or that extra CP for that extra player. They think that's going to help them get promoted. Whatever it is, they will go to the very end with trying to squeeze money out of players just because it's a recoup, right? A failing business isn't going to just cut off their sales early. They're going to try to take everything they can. So it's less losses to cut, and then guess what? Sayonara to the players. They don't care how mad you get after that because they're shut down. Now, is that the case with Strikers and UFL? I can't say for certain, but what I can say is that their game is miles behind two other games, and not enough players are just going to say, oh, well, they're new, so I'm going to play this awful game instead of these two way better games. So let's see what happens. You keep grinding. You keep having fun. I will see you on the next one. I apologize for being so heated, but this is how I feel. I just want you to open your eyes, use your common sense. I'm telling you what I see. I still speak from the exact same perspective that I would just as a player, because that's the exact approach that I have. All I started this channel to do was to help others who aspire to get to a higher level where I can help out, as well as share what I feel about these games like I'm doing now, because it only benefits me that not only UFL does well, but every football game. And right now, 2 out of the 3, while not perfect, are at least acceptable. UFL, it's just unacceptable, and everyone I feel like is giving them this excuse, oh, they're new, and I'm just sick of that nonsense, because they had this presentable game, and they've just made it worse and worse and worse. And I'm starting to wonder, was that just the very best they could do? And now that they try to make certain fixes because their very best didn't cut it, right? It was okay for the initial release, but once they seen that not enough players were happy and they definitely weren't going to grow like this, did they try to fix X, Y, and Z, and they just realized we aren't strong enough as a development company to fix all these things? I mean, I don't know the answer, but I do know that they didn't come into this realm and say, oh, well, we're new. The players will give us a break, so we don't have to worry about being this much worse than EA Sports and FC and Konami and eFootball. The players will play our game anyway. There's no way. They came into this realm because they thought they could be competitive, and guess what happens? Just like in many things, they might have bit off more than they could chew. We just have to realistically look at the fact that UFL may not be fixable. I just want to pose the questions because I'm a player too. You guys be the judge, and we will see what happens. Keep grinding, keep having fun. Peace out.